let's segue back into the into the war games, into the blood and guts. Um, one of the big things, like I said, that made me start loving her was Harley Cameron, who was a part of this match. And honestly, this is what we needed from AEW for a long ass time. The women started to be showcased on like a real major way. At first, I wasn't kind of agreeing with the tag team belts because I felt like it probably wasn't needed. They still have the two, women's title divisions that probably could use a little bit of boost in as far as talent that can carry those belts into the future.
More TV time. It's
More
more.
TV
They got
time
the
for these
talent.
girls,
They
yeah.
got the talent. It's the TV time.
But I'm saying as far as like the division, because like, can you name more than three people for those two belts each that could carry it without naming Monet, Tony Storm, or Stat right now?
Yeah, they could. They're building other people, but
So they're
nobody else
starting
is
that
really
build.
ready.
Yeah, they're starting that build now, and I got to take my hat off to AEW because they showed how WWE should be booking their war games coming up. WWE, it just feels like they was like, okay, let me take
You know
you,
what
and
you're
let's
gonna get.
ball you together last minute, and here, this is War Games.
You know what you're gonna get from the WWE War Games matches, from the men and the women, and I love all of them, but you know what you're gonna get. It's just how we're gonna get there, but we know what you're gonna get. One thing about it may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you in AEW War Games, there's going to be a lot of unpredictable shit that's going to happen. Like there's going to be something, whether it's your cup of tea or not. There's going to be something that's going to be like, wow, okay, that's crazy, that's bugged out, this and that. Like I love WWE, but we know for a fact that when we get to the War Games, EO Sky is going to go to the top of the cage with a trash can on top of her head and do a backflip. Yes, it's dope, but
Yeah,
it's just like,
we might see. I hope Bronson doesn't jump off the cage this year. Like,
yeah, please, no, 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 no,
we
no, no,
want
no,
you
yeah, don't do it.
healthy. We want you healthy. But that's the
Yeah,
point,
don't do
and that
that.
was the stark difference in AEW's build. I think for both of these matches, it was like, while some people could probably argue like maybe this was thrown together in kind of the same fashion, but everyone in those matches had legitimate reasons to be opposed the opposite team. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
So
different. It's just different. I mean, as it should be. They're alternative. It should be presented different. This is what AEW should be doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm looking forward to the War Games match. Come out. Was it 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
but
It's like 2 weeks.
is it the
So
next weekend?
no,
Oh
I don't
no,
think it's
it's
next
2 weeks.
weekend.
It's two
I think
weeks.
it's like 2 weeks. I'm looking forward to it. 'Cause I know it's going to be good. But I think I spoke on it in the last podcast. It's moving forward. Raw definitely did have some story beats to move things forward, but we know, like, and I guess this is a good thing. We know the tribal chief is coming to town. We don't know when, but we know he's gonna pop up. And when he pops up, the story takes leaps and bounds forward. So, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but you know, you gotta pull up, bro. You gotta pull up, man. You gotta pull up.
Yeah, so it's kind of bad that it's like we're looking forward to like more of a maybe of a appearance, not even a sure thing, as opposed to what's actually leading into these war games matches and the results of the war games matches. Like, that's the thing too. Like, WWE, if you're not gonna put the shock and awe going into the matches and like the actual matches themselves, how AEW structured theirs, you have to give us something that is like, all right, the winning team each gets a title shot of their choosing at this date or something. Like, if you're gonna just randomly throw these teams together, can we have something that they're fighting for that they actually make
I,
sense outside of, hey, we've been beefing the past couple of months and it's obvious we're gonna be in war games.
it's starting to feel a little like Hell in a Cellish. Like this is kind of something that we have to do because this is a pay per view on the calendar at this month. So we have to now contrive our stories to fit in this scenario to get through this thing instead of this organic, like, yo, we just got this squad just got beef with this squad, and it just all right now it's lit. We in the cage. It's back. It's feeling a little shoehorned. Like this happens that this has to happen because this is that time of the year. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's yeah, you know, don't be mid.
I feel like that stems from them just
Hmm.
being used to how things are with their booking and such. They want to be as traditional as they can, even though they don't do Survivor Series anymore. But
Mm.
what
That what grinds my gears of what you just said, and nothing what you just. It's just like because they're doing a traditional
they got
Survivor
because
Series
they're doing
match.
it on not on
But this,
Survivor Series. They're doing it on
I know,
SmackDown.
this, like,
It's like
what are we doing?
is it, to me it's not a Survivor Series match unless it's on Survivor Series. That's just a glorified 5v5 match.
I agree, 100%. Like, I don't. Why is the Survivor Series match not on Survivor Series?
Are we
Like,
gonna
I
have a
don't.
Royal Rumble on Raw?
That it's equivalent. That's right. Like, I don't get it. It's yeah. I'm not. This
Are we gonna have
booking.
are we gonna have the greatest Royal Rumble or something?
Yeah. But you know what? Listen, I know we're kind of ragging on them, but you know what? Not everything is bad. I am really enjoying this. The last time is now John Cena tournament. Like, I'm really enjoying. I always like a good tournament. I'm a sucker for tournaments, so they got me there. And I think this is appropriate. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be Cena's last match. It should be a grand thing. It should be built up. Before, do you think, real quick, do you think he'll be Intercontinental Champion by the end of by his last match?
I hope not. They were supposed to give the title to Ray at the end of that show.
He's supposed to challenge him at the main event and win.
Yeah, vindication. AJ, you're muted. AJ, you're muted. You're muted. I don't hear you at all. Hello?
Yo, can you hear
You're
me now?
muted.
I don't hear you at
Yeah,
all.
we can hear you now.
Yeah, I
We can
can
hear
hear
you
you
now.
now.
All right.
What was you saying?
I was saying you're never gonna forgive Rey Mysterio, John Cena for that Rey Mysterio
I don't
WWE
know.
title loss
No.
that
He,
same night.
Rey Mysterio should have got that vindication, and it would have set up like a triple threat: Dominic, Ray, and John Cena or something. That's what I would have had.
Yeah, that would have been beautiful. That would have been a beautiful full circle moment if Ray would have challenged him and
So
And
just
then
here's
and
here's a
then next thing you know, Ray turns heel, Dom turns face, and then Rey Mysterio is the IC, and then this is Dom trying to get it from Rey Mysterio and the New Judgment Day.
I don't think Dom's ever going to turn face. I think that's just something that's just going to naturally happen. I don't think there's going to be like a moment. I don't think there's going to be like that one specific moment. I think it's just like it's already getting to a point like where the crowd is like 60-40 cheering for him like already anyway. Like I think one day it's just going to be 100% and Dom just kind of be a face. Who knows? But yeah, I'm liking this tournament though. This tournament this tournament is good. Who do we think is going to win this tournament?
shoehorn to win.
Who?
What you say?
They're shoehorning Gunther to win it. So
That's
I'm
yeah.
thinking that's the person who's gonna win. But
Who would you like to win rather than?
um, I don't know because I feel like it's just heading towards Gunther if Brock Lesnar isn't a surprise entry in this damn tournament. Um, I think
That's gonna be
knowing
John Cena. It's
WWE,
gonna be
those will
Joe
probably be
Hendry.
the two, or
It's
it
gonna be
probably
Joe
will be.
Hendry.
So our last pod we were like really harsh on the John Cena Raw and the tournament and everything, and this is the thing with WWE. I feel like as fans and podcasters, we have to probably scream and shout about the shit we don't agree with because Instantly, they remedied everything I bitched about on our last pod. On SmackDown, they made the tournament feel way more prestigious. How? If you're wondering, why am I saying that? Because they cut a fucking promo package showing John
Mm.
Cena's early years, showing his struggles of training and his getting to the prototype character, and then it led straight into the tournament, right?
But this is your life segment.
Right? It led straight into the tournament,
This is your
and then
life.
in this tournament, right, we get a surprise person who's not someone who's obviously getting thrown in because they've been popular on WWE television, who doesn't even probably need this rub. I'm looking at you, Jay Uso. Um,
The Grayson Waller,
we
bro.
have we have Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder return, and I know where you're gonna go with where you're leading to
Go
with
ahead.
that
Go
conversation.
ahead. Go ahead. Just go ahead.
And
Goodness
it was my
gracious.
initial reaction too. But as I saw the match progress, and then it kind of the thoughts kept in my head, and it kept building in my mind, and then I'm on my doom scroll on IG, and all of a sudden Chris Van Vliet shares his Matt Cardona interview, and it kind of deflated that feeling that I'm sure that you have, which is, why the fuck is Matt Cardona on NXT television as Matt Cardona, but then you came back as Zack Ryder, which you've consistently buried in the indies and said is dead, but you were quick to resurrect it on Friday Night SmackDown on your first opportunity back on the main roster. And here's the thing. I was angry with you too. I was where you were at. I was looking how you looking. But then the Chris Van Vliet interview, he reshared it, and he literally asked Matt Cardona if WWE reached out to you, and this was an old interview way before this even happened. If WWE reached out to you and asked you to show up, would you come back? His response was, "I'm always ready." And he said, "Would you come back as if they told you to come back as Zack Ryder?" And you know what his response was? And this is why I was like, you know what? Fuck that. I respect it at this point. And I'm just going to continue to enjoy the moment. He says every time he makes a pair of trunks, he has the Matt Cardona version and he has the Zack Ryder version. All he does is swap the logos on the knee pads. He's always ready. It doesn't matter. What do you say to that? Yeah, you're on the indies. Your gimmick is Zack Ryder is dead. I'm the indie god. I'm Matt Cardona, and you built that. But if you're already stated prior to this that your dream job was the WWE, he's literally said he wants to make it back. Dude backdoored his way through TNA's and that partnership, got onto NXT, and now it's looking like he might have a shot to actually come back to the main roster and continue living the dream he wanted. And this time, his wife is there in a major way too. I can't be mad at it. So does that kind of sum up where we were where we were going?
Yeah. 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 That does. It Matt Zack Ryder. One of your best friends is Cody Rhodes. It's one of your best friends.
Yeah.
You've been with him. You probably knew before he made a lot of announcements. You probably had his confidence. Well, you probably knew about AEW before we knew about AEW. You probably knew about a lot of the moves that he was going to make before he makes. You watched this man leave WWE, go out in the indies, become Cody Rhodes, become this person, AEW, come back and be this person, right? You yourself have left WWE, got fired, got super over, got super jacked, become Matt Cardona, become that guy, all to come back just to the first chance you get is just like, bro, you're devaluing yourself. Like, respectfully, you're devaluing yourself. The first chance you there was no like, no, like you should be Matt Cardona. Like, You want to build new stars? Like, here it is. Like, as like, yes, we're into it, so we know all the backstories and all that stuff. But like, if you're just watching wrestling and you see him come back, you don't know that he's been out on the indie scene. Yes, and shout out to Corey Graves for trying to put him over and saying this isn't the same Zack Ryder and all that. But he comes back. He looks better. He physically looks way better. He comes back as Zack Ryder, loses in 8 minutes. What difference is he from the guy that left? He is no different from the guy that left. And then you have the audacity to call him Zack Ryder after he just put in pain in death matches as Matt Cardona. It's just dumb. It doesn't make any sense. And it's just like, I get everything he says. And I commend him. I ain't knock him at all. Get your paper, do what you do. But it's like, bro, you don't I don't know. I don't know that conversation. I wasn't privy to that conversation, but it just seems like, bro, you didn't have no backbone in that conversation. You didn't want to be like, nah, no, I'm not coming back as Zack Ryder. No, that's dead. I was already on NXT as Matt Cardona. No, look at what I've done. No, Zack Ryder's done. That's a joke compared to what Matt Cardona has done. So like, I can't even look at you as serious. And then you come back and lose in 8 minutes. And no knock on LA Knight, but it's just like, y'all couldn't have
Yeah.
brought him back in any other thing. He couldn't have come like, if you want you. This is the opportunity to build a new star. You want to present him as Zack Ryder? Sure. Have him come back and win. Why have him come back after all these years and look like, come on? It's like, why would I take him serious? Why would I take you serious now? You come back and you lose again, like you've always done. Zack Ryder, like it does nothing for me. It's just like it's a
So,
wasted opportunity. It's crap booking.
so
Like,
this is where I
come on.
feel like they had a good medium to respect what he did in the past, while he was away from WWE, and also acknowledge what he did for who he was in WWE before. I'm gonna tell you, it was very heavy on. This is also
Facts.
not the same Zack Ryder you
Facts.
remember. He's known for
Facts.
death matches. They specifically said that he's was the death match king. That was doing really well on the Indies, and made a big name of himself on the Indies. So they acknowledge that, which they don't do for a lot of people. There's been a
Facts.
lot of people who've come back and they don't mention shit about what progress they made. They come right back in and fill in that role they did in the past. Not only that, Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona did exactly what he needed to do in that match. Because if you were watching and paying attention to the crowd, all he was doing was the
Ooh.
woos.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah.
Low, not even being extra with it, just low, just to test the crowd. And he looks at LA Knight like, you see, they still behind me. And to be gone for what has it been, like 6 years, maybe,
Right. It's from that
to
long. Yeah.
be gone that long. You were never really in the huge giant position in the company. You were the one of the fan favorites that we were pushing to get to that eventual spot, but he never quite made it to those levels. To still have that traction coming back with that old gimmick when he killed the gimmick the last 6 years, and they still remember, that's a testament to his character work. And I feel like, if anything, yeah, he lost, but I hope he gained a whole new contract. I hope they put respect on him and be like, you know what? We probably should have never got rid of you.
Feel like it's just a missed opportunity. Like, there's no knock to LA Knight. They could have put somebody else in that slot. They could have had him come in, just do a squash match. And it's just like, it's presentation. If you present somebody as a big star, us as fans are going to perceive them as a big star. You have Zack Ryder come back in after all these years, big return, beat somebody in a match, and it's just like, oh shit, Zack Ryder could. All right, we got somebody that
Well,
we can put him in the main events, even if he's even. I don't know if he's signed or not, but it's just like, just as presentation. Like, why would you not want to make a big star? Why would you miss that
the
opportunity? Like,
thing they
you could
did do for
easily.
him, though, not to cut you off, the thing
Yeah,
that they did do for him, though, was they had moments in this match where it was believable that he was about to go
yeah,
over.
For a
It
fact.
wasn't
Yeah,
a
yeah,
it wasn't a squash
yeah.
match. So
Not at all. It
while
was a
he
good
did
match. It
take
was a good competitive match.
the L, he did what he
Yeah,
needed. What he did what he needed. He did the job to the best of his ability. And
yes,
not
yes,
only
for
that,
sure.
he made LA Knight look real strong
He did. He
at the
did.
end of that. And kudos to LA Knight because the camera work and talking to Cena, talk to Cena mid match through just like what we call like the off mic Roman kind of
Hmm.
stick. He was doing his
Yeah.
off mic LA Knight thing and like talking his shit to Cena through the camera. So if they don't go the shoehorn Gunther or surprise Brock, LA Knight is my pick to win it. Unless they got a crazy surprise, but you know,
Uh,
hats off to them because I was really down
yeah.
on the whole thing on Monday, and then by Friday they turned it around. Whether we like that Zack Ryder came back as Zack Ryder or he lost or not, that's what need from this tournament. Surprise
Right.
comebacks. Zack Ryder has a big history with Cena. Cena was one of the people that tried to help boost his TV time and help boost his camera time. So Cena did it again. You know,
Yeah.
this is what I expected. Not that Damian Priest versus Miro match. You know what I mean? With nobody really cared about either party or the ramifications, and it had really no big
Right.
ties to the past outside of what Miro and the Tank thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and like I agree with everything you said. It was a good competitive match. I just feel like that was a big opportunity. That was a missed opportunity, excuse me, for them to have. I don't know if he signed to WWE, so maybe that's why they didn't do it. But like, if they're signing him, let's just say they signed him, why not present him in the biggest spotlight that you can? Have this guy come back, have him go over. You know what I'm saying? Go after you have an opportunity. He's friends with Cody already. You possibly have another contender for the WWE Championship, and God knows SmackDown needs it. They really don't got no contenders, and then they didn't beat Drew McIntyre, poor Drew McIntyre down to death. Like they don't, Jacob Fatu is out. Like they don't really, Cody don't really got that many people to fight on SmackDown, and you had somebody that you could potentially could have, and you didn't because Randy Orton's on a milk carton for some reason. I don't know. I'm not booking this crap, but you know,
Yeah. So what? So I know you was a big fan of Zack Ryder back in the days and the YouTube thing. So what do you think about the whole him coming back on the tournament, losing and coming back as Zack Ryder focus?
I think I don't think this was purposely done. I think this was a last minute booking, and he replaced somebody that called out or no showed.
Well,
That's how I feel.
that can actually be a possibility too.
that could totally be it. He is always ready.
Literally. But you know who isn't always ready to do the job?
Cool.
Tegan doesn't accept the opportunity when it knocks. Nixon Newell and her love of her
Are we talk,
life partner.
we're gonna talk about her again? We're gonna talk about her again?
um, well, there's been a lot of people that chimed in. Jim Cornette spoke his piece, and his opinion was a big opposing opinion to generally what I've seen on the internet as far as like people responding. I know last pod we kind of touched on Dustin Rhodes and Taya Valkyrie's response, and it was in a negative light as far as you do the job that you're paid for and whatnot. But Jim Cornette actually came from the other side of that, saying, you know what? This wasn't unheard of. And I think you guys should actually check out that last pod when Cornette spoke about it. He said back in the
Mm.
days this wasn't unheard of. That people come in like, well, you got me in here for 2-3 minutes. You know what? I'm good. I'll stay home or I'll go to the next town over. So and that's somebody that lives and dies and breathes for this business. And he would have been the first one chewing their asses for disrespecting the business. So
Right. Right.
is it right to kind of make them both a pariah for this? I know I know her. What's her girl's name?
I
Nixon
forget the other
was
girl. I know Tegan Knox. I forget
Miranda
the
Miranda
Alizé.
Miranda Alizé, right?
Alizé.
Miranda
nice name.
Alizé
Or
shouldn't be
no, sorry.
turning. So Miranda Alizé shouldn't be turning down any bookings, right? Because you're.
Can I give some context to what Jim Cornette said?
Go ahead.
He said that the top guys used to do it. People who had stake in the industry to do it.
Right.
The job guys, what they usually say. Oh, you're doing. Can you put some people over? This, that, and the third. But you understand what was going on. He's trying to say if there was a miscommunication in AEW, which there always is, because every single wrestler has said it,
Right. Because he also pointed
and
out.
it's on AEW's
He also
fault.
pointed out that Nixon said that they texted her she can go home, but they were still in the same building, which Cornette pointed out. If it's a communication issue, why the fuck are you texting? You're in the same
Communication
building.
errors. They're in the same building. Just down in the third, and it's like I have a feeling they have one of these agents. They like, oh, they oversold Nixon on her come appearing on AEW. At the end of the day, Tony Khan does all the booking. Nixon said no. And well, Tony Khan said, you know what? I want Anna Jay, this, that, and Ty Conti, A1 performers to go over because we're trying to build them over because they're actually going to be signed and they're not going to retire in 1 year. As a promoter, it makes sense.
It does.
What AEW goes wrong, because like I said, they have communication issues. They probably oversold it to Miranda Alizé and Tegan Knox, like, oh, you're gonna make it competitive, this, that, and the third. Oh, you're not gonna job. And if that's the case, then they're both not in the wrong. However, if AEW did say, oh, can you job for a couple of matches, this, that, and
Mhm.
the third, you're doing a job. At the end of the day, you're getting a paycheck. And at the end of the day, these girls aren't that big of a names to be like have to be part of that. Like, oh, I could do that.
That's why. That's why I
I,
said
I
Miranda
well,
Alizé needed to take the
Tegan
bookings.
Knox if Tegan Knox was to be announced for any indie show around my area, who cares?
That's
You put
true.
Gigi Dolan, I'll
You put
go there. I'll go. Gigi Dolan
that,
or
but
J Elena
that's
Black,
because
I'll probably
you
go.
have a different preference for
No,
Gigi
no, no.
Nolan over
Is
Tegan
is
Knox.
is not it's not
But
even that because
you still,
Tegan Knox is attractive too.
but you
She's
still
attractive
can't. You
too.
still
Let's
can't.
let's not put anything back. But
You
it's
still can't detract from
I don't like
what
her.
she did as far as being a part of the WWE roster, not just the NXT
I'm not
roster, but
saying
made it
that.
to the main roster. So that
I'm not saying
name
that. But
value is still higher than her love partner
but she's not.
and
But
higher
she's
than
not really using it
most of the
though.
indie people that are coming in to do these jobs. So if she was on some, listen, I'm trying to do this in this part of my career and it's not working for me, she does have a name coming from the WWE. It's not as big as other people, but she does have some type of name. She did put in some type of the work as opposed to
Yeah,
a partner. So it's like to set a good example
But
for
at
her
the same,
partner who is looking for a career further in this industry, she should have definitely just took the job and helped her get her partner over. If anything, she should have been the better example because you were doing the jobs in WWE. You know, so it's like I agree with both sides, and that's
right,
why we brought it up because Cornette did see the other side. He didn't completely slam these women for their decision, and it goes to what we were saying. At what point, as a professional, do you say, "All right, I did this. We already did that. What's next?" Because I don't want to continue the same cycle. And then
right,
somebody who probably has a PTSD getting booked that way already, if she didn't communicate her intentions with the company and how she wanted to get um like viewed and then how she wanted to get promoted, then she shouldn't have done the appearance at all. But if they did
Right.
have that conversation and you come in on your debut, you got some type of a name from another promotion, you could probably boost their whatever it is for whatever recognition that she has, whether it's large in our minds or not. It might be larger in someone else's mind. She still has some type of brand recognition. So, if you come in, you lose on your debut, they tell you, cut this promo. I'm not signed. You're not signed yet, but cut this promo to build this match, and it's going to be more important than the first match, but then you get less or equivalent time with a squash on top of it. I would understand if I had a little name and it's like, what am I doing here at this point? At least give me 5 minutes, 6 minutes, so we can have a decent match, so we don't look like
Yeah.
total turds on our second
Right.
outing. So I understand that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not privy to those conversations. But my 2 cents is it kind of goes back to what my last point was that just like we're not privy to the conversations, but if you want to, like, I'm coming in my debut, I already lost my debut 2 minutes. I'm gonna come in my second match. So like, how am I gonna ever get over if you keep presenting me like a jobber? Like they're always gonna see me as a jobber. Like so,
But the thing is, you're not signed. You're trying to build up A
that part.
Conte and Anna Jay. That
Yeah.
was the whole reason to be brought in
And
because
so
they're
in
trying
that
to
case, then yeah,
launch
you
the
gotta
tag team division,
right.
and they've been there. They literally been there since day one.
That's
And who has the tag team titles right now? Nobody. They're trying to build up contenders, and
yeah.
they're not even
Yeah.
signed. And one of them is retiring in 1 year.
Now with
That's
that
why.
being
That's
said,
why I say, as the veteran in the
There's
situation, she set a bad example for Miranda Alizé because she should have did the job 100%. But then, I do reserve the right because we see it all the fucking time. These people come in and it's not an AEW thing, it's not a WWE thing. It's just generally. We see these people come in, they do the good soldier thing, they bend to the will of the company when it comes to their personal characters, and then they get demoralized and they lose all stock in their character. I think it's okay sometimes for somebody to say, nope, I'm not doing that. Let's restructure it. Let's come together and repackage this. That needs to happen more in wrestling. It really does. Because, like conversation we had earlier, people calling Chris Jericho trash and retire and all of this, and that's crazy.
that's crazy.
Like,
Yeah, that's crazy.
also
that's fucking
accusing
crazy.
him of also accusing him of things that you know are
Right.
rumored, and that the alleged victim said it wasn't the case. So,
It was
and it's
numerous
like
things,
it's wild.
but it's like obviously he was put in situations we don't know the creative extent, but Tony got to know when things are not working, and he's lowered the stock of Chris Jericho in the viewer's eyes with a lot of the storylines and the people that he was put in. Now, whether Jericho was picking the people he was working with personally every time, or he was calling the shots 100% of the time, which I don't think was the case at all.
Yeah.
Um, you
Yeah,
know, sometimes you need
I
to say,
would.
I'm not doing that. And I'm pretty sure Jericho is one of those people that probably would be respected or probably has some input in, hey, I wanna divert from this. But with Tony's ego that's been documented, he tries to rein in the chains in the wrong situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
If Jericho's
Right.
leaving, there's a reason why he's leaving. He's no longer happy there, or
Yeah.
he wants his final run to be where he became the biggest star.
You
It's
should.
one
It
of
should
it's
be.
one of those two.
It should be.
But
It should be.
if we're going across the conversation and of that Jericho put himself as far as building this brand, the opportunities AEW presented, the creative freedom, and all of this, If that's still there, why leave? If that's still fulfilling you, why leave? Why not resign? You know what I mean? So there got to be some things that he had to put up with to be a
I think
professional that
TK
he no
finally
longer want to
TK
deal
finally
with.
realized it, and I think I don't, and I can't even sit here and just all blame Chris Jericho because Chris Jericho did the match. He lost the matches. He put the other people over. It was the lack of follow up on other people's, like Andre, who's booking it. Andre, Action Andretti should have been put to the top after he got that surprise win after Jericho. Nothing happened. Orange Cassidy should have been over like a year before he really got over. You know what I'm saying? But it's just a lack of what happened after. Like I can't blame Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, he did the match. He
Conversation.
did the favor. You know.
The fact Orange Cassidy hasn't been in the World Championship conversation since that feud with Jericho is crazy. Not once.
He's been in it after, but it's just never
not
really.
not in a way where we're like we see Orange Cassidy in the next 6 months winning this belt.
Yeah.
Every single champ and whether we love the outcome or not, AEW has a thing where we can call their champion 6 months in advance.
Yeah, they set it
And
up. They set it up good. Yeah,
you
they know how
set
to
up
build them
you
up.
set up they set up the you kind of know who the antagonist and the protagonist of the championship story is going to be when it comes to their major events.
Right.
So we kind of call who's going to be the next champion in that moment. So we've never been in a situation where you can kind of call Orange Cassidy winning the world championship. And after a feud with Jericho, Le Champion, he should have been boosted into that spotlight.
Yeah, I will put more of the blame on the creative team more than I would put on Jericho because
Yeah, me too.
Jericho did the favors. Yeah, he
Me
did the
too.
favors. He lost the match. Like,
Yeah, he put
you
he
know what I'm
put people
saying?
over. He worked with the young talent. You know,
You know what it is?
maybe
I'm
in
gonna
that
tell you exactly what
situation, we should
happened.
have Jericho should have said, "No, I'm not working with these individuals. I'm only sticking to this kind of program."
You know what happened with Orange Cassidy? Right after he feuded with Jericho, he got into that international title shit that he tried to put over for it eventually to be combined into the unified title, which doesn't mean anything.
That did happen, but there was at least 6 to 7 months in between that because Orange
He
Cassidy
was
fell
injured.
off.
Wasn't
He
he
fell off.
injured like
He
for
might
like
have been. He
2
might have been
months?
injured. He might have been injured because he kind of just disappeared. He fell. He might have either got injured or he got
And
milk
and then
boxed
he got
because
the and then he got he first of all, Orange Cassidy never got in milk box. He was always around, even if he was injured. He would have his shit in a sling. That's one thing. Orange Cassidy's always gonna be on the show, even if he's injured for some reason.
I
Everybody
mean,
else in the wrestling business can't come to the show while they're injured, except unless their name is Orange Cassidy
he did
or
get
Roderick
over that.
Strong.
That initial run with the international belt, he got super over with that. Those open
Yeah, he
challenges
did
that he
20,
had,
21 defenses. He
yeah, that was
wasted,
amazing.
and that was all a waste of time
You
at
think it
the
was a
end of
waste
the
of time?
day. Yeah, because look what happened. Now it's the unified title.
Yeah, but I don't. I think that did a lot for Orange Cassidy's AEW
It,
legacy and his reputation. Like, I
it
feel
gave
like
him
after that,
legit, but
I feel like after that, I could look at him as a world champion after that.
I gave him a legit like a legit claim to have like 21 defenses on the title.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it wasn't the world title that he was doing that for. They gave that to him. They basically gave him what's it called, a participation trophy. I said, here
No,
you
but
go,
that,
Orange
but that's
Cassidy.
but
You
focus.
could
That's
run
how
with
you
this for
build
like
them up.
21 defenses. Here
Nah,
you go.
don't
And
say
then
that.
next thing you know, it doesn't even matter. Am I wrong?
No, no, because you have to build
Am I
somebody up.
wrong if anything that I'm
That,
saying? Who
that's
did
like
he?
when somebody wins the
Who was
that's like
built
when
up?
somebody wins the Intercontinental Champion. Like you build them up to those
Just like
stages
just,
to
just
get to
like
the World
just like the
Heavyweight
just like
Champion.
the Eddie Kingston shit. The Eddie Kingston shit. Where is he doing better now than when he was a Triple Crown champion?
Now that's just a lack of
Is
booking.
Orange Cassidy doing
That's a
doing
lack of
as
booking.
good as he doing right now as he was when he was an international champion? No.
Well, for me as a
Does
fan,
does any of those titles mean anything anymore? No.
I mean,
TK
they're
booking for
different
you.
championships now. They're different they're literally different championships now.
They're different, yeah, completely different, and they're unified into one thing. And it's like, what's the point?
I
Because
think as
it all draws from the same pool of wrestlers. There's no divisions. There's no heavyweight. There's no junior heavyweight. There's no hardcore. There's only tag team and like 5 single titles for one division.
yeah, this is true,
Does
but
anything
I
really,
think
really matter?
Orange
Does anything really
Cassidy is
matter?
yes. I think his international run did
Oh,
matter.
so
After that,
it's like with
I
Orange.
viewed him as
So I feel like go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I viewed him after his international run, after those 21 after those 21
You can hear
matches,
me?
like yeah, he could be a champion.
He could be a champion, but they wasted his time with that whole international title run. While they could have just had him in the world title picture at that point.
Can you hear me now?
Because after Jericho, he was basically a star. Well, he was a star when they first started, but once he got legitimized by Chris Jericho, oh, that's just he can pull off good matches. This, that, and the third. Let's give him this participation trophy, 21 defenses, and then for a title that doesn't really mean anything anymore.
I was saying what Orange Cassidy did was build that title enough to even be something worth combining into anything.
He did, he did, and
Because
what happened?
I
TK
hear
booking.
that title. The only two champions I could think of when I think of that title is Orange Cassidy and Omega. That's it.
You know, I mean, Okada's been that champion. He's the longest running champion of all time.
Well,
And he doesn't even hold the
he
he
had the
doesn't even hold the
Continental
belt no more.
Crown. He had the Continental Crown one, but um, he didn't have the international until he combined them. So I'm saying, as far as the prestige of the title before the combination, I can only think of Kenny and
This,
Orange
but
Cassidy.
look at the combination of the contenders who won them. You had Eddie Kingston, you have Orange Cassidy. Are they better now than the was when they had the title? No,
Same spots.
they didn't really do anything.
In the same spots.
Hmm?
After Chris Jericho, they could have elevated him to the world title. Did they do it? No.
Yeah, but that's not Chris
And
Jericho's fault.
everything and that 21 defenses doesn't really mean a thing anymore. Because that title's not being defended. It's the unified title.
Yeah.
It built Orange Cassidy's
TK
first.
booking. It's TK booking at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's TK's booking. Yeah, so I can't blame Chris Jericho. It's TK's lack of booking. Mm, mm.
But as far as Chris Jericho, I have a feeling like there was a certain point where he could have a creative freedom to do whatever he wants. After a certain event, I've- it's been documented from a lot of people that TK stopped being everybody's friend and started becoming more of a businessman. And like, oh, it's my way or the highway. This, that, and the third. He's becoming more like Vince McMahon, as what certain wrestlers say. So it's like I feel like the last two third of Chris Jericho's run has been dictated by Tony Khan, and the stink of his booking just diminishes Chris Jericho's thing. Because I don't believe that Chris Jericho was behind the Jericho Appreciation Society.
I don't think so
I don't
either.
believe that he was I don't believe that he wanted to tag up with Big Bill or Brian Keith
Yeah,
because they didn't match
I don't
his
think
at
the
all.
Learning Tree was
Nothing
completely his
matched.
creation. I don't think so.
In
Mm.
fact, I'll go so far as to say I don't even think that the inner circle was his creation.
No, I
The Inner
definitely think
Circle,
that
I
is
do
circle.
see more
It was
I,
that
s- I
that's
s-
even documented. No, that's documented for years
yeah.
because he never had a faction. He wanted a faction
he wanted a faction. Yeah, he gave us some of the ideas,
because
but I feel like
the
Tony
Lucha Bros
Khan
were originally going to be a part of it, but he
exactly.
said
He
no.
wanted the Lucha Bros.
No, he said
So
no because he wanted somebody like because of height reasons, but
I have a feeling like a lot of the times Chris Jericho did wanted to do the right thing, but it was somebody behind the scenes
I agree
making
with
this
you
all
in the
suck.
later half. I feel like his first run, there was it was a creative collaboration. And then as time went on, TK started taking more of the reins and like, yo, nah, this is what's gonna happen. And that's when it kind of started to. But I do think that
You know what?
he lets people. You know,
Because
he's a creative collaborator. I think he's a collaborator. I don't think he's like.
after that Nick Gage incident, I have a feeling CK started to be like, you know what? I need to bring the reins on you a little bit down, Chris Jericho. We just lost Domino's,
God,
and uh, ever since then, the booking's been going down because it's TK booking it.
Okay.
I have I have a piece of slicing match, and the next thing you know, you have Domino's hot and ready. This, that, and the third. Like, come on.
I'm sorry. That was peak AEW, man. I'm okay with that. I'm personally okay with that.
So let's move on from that and let's cap off the show. Um, but I was doing my little Googles on the side, and it's pretty much this the going back to the Monet Ultimo thing. It was the same thing. His reigns were short and not a lot of for the majority of them. So out of the 10, um, they all got unified into one belt, the J Crown Championship, and then the J Crown Championship ended up being dismantled. All the belts, he lost all the belts maybe 2-3 days after he won the J Crown. So
Yeah.
he had a
So
moment.
he was stripped.
He had a
No,
fast
he lost
downfall.
it. He lost it.
Lost all of them.
So,
To
yeah,
who?
so the J Crown. Let me go back. The J Crown Championship was unified under was created and then unified under Ultimo Dragon,
And he was part of New Japan Pro Wrestling,
a part of New
and he
Japan.
did All
But
Japan, and he was part of, and he got
but
some from
a
All
part of that
Japan,
reign, he was in
All
WWF,
Japan.
and he also had a WCW run.
That WWF is technically unauthorized
WWF Light
because
Heavyweight Championship, beating
WWE demanded
El Samurai.
that championship. I know. WWE demanded that title to be returned back to them. So
Yeah, but that still ended up being a part of his 10 reign, historic reign. The Nargle Championship for the J Crown. So the J Crown consisted of, let's start with that. The J Crown Championships consisted of the
Japan.
IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. That's a great accolade. The MPW British Commonwealth Junior Heavyweight Championship, and this was shortly disbanded, maybe a year or two after. Two NWA championships: the World Junior Heavyweight Championship and the World Welterweight NWA World Welterweight Championship. The UWA World Junior Light Heavyweight Championship, WAR International Junior Heavyweight, WWA World Junior Light Heavyweight, and the WWF Light Heavyweight
Wrestle
Championship.
Alliance.
Those are the uh, 8 belts
Wasn't the
that.
WCW part of it?
Those are part of the 8 belts that consist of the J Crown Championship.
I just one WCW also had a
No,
cruiserweight
he
title
did.
part of it.
He had the WCW World Cruiserweight Championship and the NWA World Middleweight Championship. So that's the 10 belts that created his ultimate reign. But he lost all of them. Like he started losing them shortly after he got the accolade of having the 10 belts at one time.
Mm.
And then each each individual belt, he had maybe 1 to 3 defenses so far, and I've checked 5 titles so far. So it's suffering from the same exact thing that Monet is. So that leads exactly to what my point was. That in order to make her Ultimo reign feel more prestigious than Ultimo Dragons, you need to build stars out of this run, and we need more shine on these promotions. So that's kind of where I was leading to from it. It still was the
That's
territory
that's on
system,
TK.
but
That's not on her though.
yeah,
That's
it
on
is.
Exactly.
But
TK trying to.
that's the thing. Like when I criticize, when me in particular, I think I got to make this distinction. When I'm criticizing wrestlers, I'm not criticizing the person in real life. I'm criticizing the character that's being portrayed on TV, right? So when I'm coming at Monet and her run, I'm not coming at Mercedes the person. I'm coming at what's presented. You know what I'm saying? 100% is Tony's fault because you're using the fact that she's winning all these championships, but you're not promoting anything to help boost these championships in the viewers' eyes. And not only that, you're so big on the history of wrestling and you want to promote ECW and all of this nostalgia shit. Why don't you do wrestling a favor and let us know who are these promotions, who runs these promotions, who's the main champions or the main contenders from these promotions, and then maybe give us a reason to give a fuck about those promotions. So when you pick people from those places, we already know who they are coming in, which boosts AEW television. So, you know, it wasn't so
This
much
is
me trying
where
to bury it, it's me saying this is exactly the thing.
this is
You
where
you
AEW Dark is missed. This is the back in the
right,
day.
because they used
This
to
is
do
when
that.
They should have
Bring
never
in the indie
canceled it.
people. They
AEW
shouldn't,
Dark
but
is
they,
missed.
they had the Rampage and then they added the
Yeah,
CM Punk show Collision, which
right.
ended up not being the CM Punk show anymore. So a lot of
What,
missteps
like
on Tony's part,
two
but
months later.
you
At the
get the
end of the
people
day,
to
it's all
really
Tony's
stop
fault.
complaining.
It's all Tony's fault.
You want to get people to really stop complaining and appreciate Monet's run. The spotlight has to be more than just on Monet. Like we said earlier, the rivals are
But the
just as
story might not
important.
be done though.
The
It might not
status
be
of
done
the
though.
status of the people you're beating are
The
just as
story might not
important
be
as
done,
the person beating them.
but
You know?
you need a good story writer though.
Yeah, the story should be good on the rise and the fall.
I agree. I
We
agree.
we shouldn't just focus on the fall because then it comes off like we're haters. It does. It sounds like we're haters because we're waiting for the fall part. Because we're hoping
Right.
that the people who start beating her start getting shine. And then like I said earlier, the character development go full circle, and then boom, we're back to really loving this person. And by the time she touches that AW
You know who
championship,
I blame for this? You know who I
she's an
blame for
icon.
this? You know who I blame for her booking this way? Us.
Because we cheered Stephanie Vaquer too much that night. We turned the arena against Monet, and then people realized her booking.
Yeah.
Because remember, I think I think Akira had like one belt or whatever that Mercedes was supposed to win, and
Yeah.
she just left.
She just left. She just left.
She just left. She's like, "Fuck out of here."
I was like,
She's
yeah,
like,
Well,
I'm
"Fuck these belts. I'm
WWE
out."
was like, "Did you hear Kayfabe starting them chants and the reaction of the crowd? We need her."
it's
So in a
crazy.
way, we are responsible for the way this is booked
But we're not gonna
because
talk
no
about
woman can get over.
that.
Another conversation for another time.
Next clip. Next clip.
um,
Next clip. Hold on. Let me put my
right.
black. Let me
Next
put my
clip.
black
They gotta
glasses
skip
back
that. They
on.
gotta skip that.
Can I put my glasses back on? Can I put my glasses back on?
They gotta skip that. But
Can I put my glasses back on?
let's hope we get more out of the run. We're looking forward to the WWE's War Games. See if how they compare to the what I can say was phenomenal men's and women's war games for AEW. The women stole the show. Um, the CENA tournament was definitely better this week. Oh, well, on SmackDown's end of the week, because Raw was just atrocious. So a good rebound. Looking forward to a couple of things. We got Full Gear coming soon. You guys got anything else to
This
say
weekend.
before we wrap this up?
I'm
All right, guys.
looking forward to full year.
You know where to find us at Kayfabe on all streaming platforms. Check the live video version on YouTube as well as Spotify. Catch the audio versions on all streaming podcast platforms. And we could do this all day. So let's take it home.